exchange ideas and share best.
Really nice presentation. It's interesting even for us that are part of the group actually seeing everything that has happened during the year, because sometimes we forget what we have been doing the whole year. It's a lot of things going on. So now we are going to do a round of hearing what other communities are doing, either country communities like someone representing a local chapter, or other communities like, let's say, HOT in this case. So we have a round of reports that we are going to hear from different communities. Um, so I have in the agenda that we created, I'm the first one. Maybe I can start by sharing what the Italian community has been doing the last year in 2023, and then we can continue with other countries that have showed availability to share their activities. I'm going to share my screen. So I have quite a few slides, but I'll try to be very brief. Today, I'm actually originally from Albania, but today I'm representing OpenStreetMap Italy. And I'm going to quickly tell you what we have done in less than 5 minutes, hopefully, presentation. So OpenStreetMap Italy is represented by Wikimedia Italy, which is the local chapter. And first of all, we have different coordinators, volunteers that we have in different regions in Italy. In 2023, we had a few more. At the moment, we have 3 coordinators, and they are our main point of contact for the association, for the local chapters. First of all, we organized the national event, which last year was called Geo Days, because it was actually a gathering of 3 different events from 3 different associations. And we had like almost a week of presentations and sessions dedicated to geospatial open data, but the last days were mostly dedicated to OpenStreetMap. Throughout the whole event, there were almost 300 people. And then we had, in the days that were only dedicated to OpenStreetMap, as many people as you see in this photo. In Geo Days, in this event, Wikimedia Italy gives organizational support, we do promotion, and we put a budget of 8,000 euros for the organizing of the event, because it's co-organized, it's not only us who organize it, actually. We offer economic support for the community. We have micro grants as a local chapter, and the micro grants are up to 1,000 euros. Last year, we had 31 projects, from which 6 were dedicated to OpenStreetMap. These are projects that volunteers actually ask for budget from the association. So we only had 6 of them that arrived asking for budget for OpenStreetMap projects. It's mostly events. We have grants for volunteer projects starting from 1,000 up to 10,000 euros. Last year we approved 3 projects, and one of them was dedicated to OpenStreetMap, which was actually the total budget of the grants that we approved was 15,000 euros, but 8,000 were only dedicated to OpenStreetMap, which was the budget for this one project. And it was for a website called Biking Improver Day. It was kind of a gamification of adding data in OpenStreetMap dedicated to cycling. It was really interesting. So we also have grants for schools. And last year, in our school grants, which is called Wiki in Parte, we had 4 projects approved in total, and 2 of them were also dedicated to OpenStreetMap. We don't have enough time. I would love to actually share with you all the projects that were dedicated to OpenStreetMap, but I'm going to, at some point, send a whole dedicated report to the OpenStreetMap Foundation, and there you can see more of how the projects actually were and what they did in OpenStreetMap. Last year, we also offered travel grants for our volunteers to attend the national event. We had 10 bursaries of 500 euros, and we also organized the bursaries for State of the Map Europe. which we had only 5 bursaries, but it was kind of a good help for a few people to attend the event. We are organizing them for State of the Map in Africa this year. So we are going to have a few people from Italy there attending. But yes, I'm not going to spoil anything for this. We have a few other projects that we have done last year, or some of them we have supported financially, but they are organized by some of the volunteers of the association. We organized an event to help the mapping in the tasking manager of HOT for the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. We organized another mapping party in a national event that we have here in Italy called Mergit. We have had a series of events with AMAT, which is the Agency of Mobility and Territory in Milan. And we've had a series of events with them, and also another event done in Bologna, in a city in Italy, dedicated to mapping streets on women's names. We continue maintaining different services, tools that are available for the community and help them in their mapping or all other activities related to OpenStreetMap. We have our tasking manager translated and adapted for the Italian community. We have the OpenStreetMap extracts for Italy, which is quite visited as a website. We didn't think it would have many visits, but it has around 6,000 visits a year. And also an Italian website, which is kind of a container for different services. And we have put all different websites like the OpenStreetMap Wiki, Learn OpenStreetMap, and different pages. It's kind of a main place where you can find everything. And now I'm going to leave we have Eugene from the Philippines actually as our next presenter. So I'm going to pass the word again to Eugene if he likes to share what they have been doing last year.
Okay, thanks, Anissa. So again, welcome back. So I'll be giving a short presentation about the OpenStreetMap Philippines community. Let me share my screen again. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, thanks. So basically, we've done a lot of things in the Philippines for OpenStreetMap. One of the biggest things that we've done is called Pista ng Mapa 2023. So Pista ng Mapa is our annual open mapping community. So people from OpenStreetMap and Phosphor-G organized the annual Pista ng Mapa, which means Festival of Maps. We started this back in 2019 and held the 5th edition last November 2023 in the city of Tacloban. So our host for this conference was the University of the Philippines, Tacloban, which is also one of our local youth mappers. And speaking of youth mappers, we now have 18 chapters all over the Philippines. And the idea of having local youth mappers is that they help spread the idea of OpenStreetMap and open mapping to college level students. And they are also a valuable source of volunteers during humanitarian mapping activities and in our annual Pista ng Mapa conference. One of the big reasons for why our youth mappers chapters are successful is because of Faye Andal. She's our local youth mappers ambassador or regional ambassador in the Philippines. And because of her work in promoting youth mappers and OpenStreetMap in the Philippines, she was recently recognized as one of the 50 rising stars of 2024 by Geospatial World. So one of the activities that our local youth mappers chapters are doing is organizing workshops. So recently, back in January, two youth mappers chapters, FEU Alabang and UP Resilience Institute, organized multi-day participatory GIS workshops. So these were led by Faye Andal and YM co-founder Dr. Brett Muskosker from West Virginia University. So some of the other events that we've organized as a local community include the MAPA Talks. So the De La Salle University hosted an afternoon of talks and sharing about OpenStreetMap and open mapping back in May last year. We also had a biking meetup in the city of Marikina last November. So what happened was a bunch of people split into groups and collected street level imagery using Mapillary and shared stories about what they've been doing and mapping afterwards. And back in January, we also had what we call the OSM Parin 2024. So the UP Resilience Institute hosted the 2024 Year Starter event for OpenStreetMap Philippines. So in this Year Starter event, we taught participants how to collect street-level imagery using Mapillary and how to edit OSM using the Evidor mobile app. We also had FOS4G meetings. So the local FOS4G community started holding monthly online meetings in 2024 to talk about open source geospatial software. So we had Getting to Know meetup back in January, and we talked all about QGIS and how to leverage QGIS and OpenStreetMap data in February. We'll be having another meeting this March. So that's a very, very short and quick introduction to what we've been doing in the Philippines. Thank you.
So next in line, we have Maggie, and she's going to share us a report from OpenStreetMap from the United States.
Video, there we go. I'll do a quick update. For those of you who I've met many of you, my name is Maggie Cawley. I live in Virginia in the US, and I've been serving as the executive director for the OpenStreetMap US chapter for about 5 years now. It's kind of hard to believe. We are a 501c3, and for like the first 9 years of our existence, we were led by all volunteers, like many of the other chapters, until I came on in 2019 as staff. We now have 3 staff, myself, Nellie Blair, and Quincy Morgan. And we have 5 volunteer board members, although this slide is a little old. We just had our election, so 2 new board members are Harrison Devine and Levente Tujas. So welcome to them. Our board members serve 2 years, and then they can run again. We've got communities all over the US, so OSM US does it's what it can to support all these communities. There's a picture of a bike mapathon that was done in New York for the New York community. You've got GeoMore, the Mapping Baltimore group, which is now Map Time Be More. There's some work out west. There's a group in Salt Lake City, group up in Portland, doing a lot of great work in their communities. So OSM US kind of sits in the middle of and tries to support all the different stakeholders in the US. So, colleges, academia, different youth mappers chapters, our government agencies, so federal, state, and local governments, volunteers, and also, our friends in the private sector. We have programs. Here's our 3 main programs. Mapping for Impact. We support nonprofits finding data gaps, so to support their missions. Teach OSM. I don't know if you've ever used the Teach OSM Tasking Manager, but that's something that we support, along with curriculum and an education working group to bring together educators across the country. We just launched our Trail Stewardship Initiative to update trails across the US. We support tools and tech. We have our OSM US Tasking Manager, like I said, the Teach OSM Tasking Manager. We just took on the Field Papers project for support. We're actually looking for help development on that because it's a big project if anyone's interested. And we're working on something called Public Domain Map. I don't really have time to go into all these, but happy to answer questions. We also have a charter project program, so we support open source software projects within the ecosystem. Over the last year or so, we've brought on OSM Cha and Map Roulette, and Open Historical Map is also a project that we support. So what that means is we help them fundraise, we help them with strategic direction, and they have a nonprofit home from which to have a little more sustainability as a project. We have 7 working groups, which is kind of a lot. It's getting too much, to be honest. We have the Trails Working Group, the State of the Map US Planning Committee gets together now because our conference is coming up. We're about to launch a pedestrian working group to talk about how we can better map pedestrian infrastructure in the US. We have an imagery working group that many folks from all over the world are attending to see how we can improve imagery in OSM. Our governance committee helps control, manage our board and some of our behind the scenes things. We have a government working group that's been around for about 4 years. That's been really great. It gets different folks from government in the room to learn a little bit more about how OpenStreetMap can support the public good. So that's been really a nice group. We hold a lot of events. So we do Mappy hours pretty regularly online. We have Mapping USA almost once a year. It's our virtual conference. We support something called FedGeo Day. So it's like an open source in government event up in DC every year. And then, of course, the big one, State of the Map US. This year, we're headed to Salt Lake City. The call for speakers is open. We're supporting 14 scholarships, many from all the different corners of the world. And we generally bring together around 300 people. Here are a few pictures from last year's conference in Richmond, Virginia, my home, which was really fun to bring everybody here. You might see yourself in the picture of the group. And I think that's all I have. Thank you very much.
The next that we are going to hear from is Ilya from Russia.
My name is Daniil. I'm from Russia, from St. Petersburg, and today I'm going to talk briefly about Russian OpenStreetMap community. Just a second. You see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Okay. We can start. The Russian community is one of the most active community in the world. For example, Russia is in top 5 in the world in terms of the number of change and contributors as of February 2024. And the number of change and users is relatively stable until 2022, since when there has been a slight decrease. Also, Russia ranks second in the world after Germany in terms of the number of nodes. Russian community have a lot of problems, but we will find solutions. In different parts of the country, community is divided into local association what work together to improve the quality of maps in their city or region. And Russian community faces on a daily basis is the lack of high quality and fresh satellite data. Unfortunately, it's now forbidden to launch drones in Russia almost everywhere. Some about past. 12 years ago, we wanted to legally formalize the Council of Russian OpenStreetMap Community, or Russian language OpenStreetMap community for the local level. But since 2014, there have been many difficulties. It has become dangerous to register such a council in Russia. Despite this, the Russian community always remains active and improves OpenStreetMap every day online. Russian community have a variety of modern technical tools, and Russia have members in OpenStreetMap Foundation. In 2019, Russia was represented by 11 people, but now Russia represented by 17 people. And after 2022, where many problems, offline meetings almost stopped, but Russian community continues to develop, interact with our communities, and look for ways to solve problems together. We also cooperate with leading Russian universities, for example, with the Department of Cartography of Moscow State University. It is the best university in Russia, and we help to make open data and affordable education. Also, public transport in some cities is starting to use OpenStreetMap for life. And the Russian-speaking community is developing every day and does not end at the border of Russia, because we have a lot of members outside Russia. And we also hope to revive live meetings, at least in the capital of Russian culture, in St. Petersburg. Okay, thank you for your attention.
The next person who is going to share their activities for the past year is Arneli, and she's going to talk today on behalf of HOT, Humanitarian OpenStreetMap team.
Yeah, thank you again, LCCWG, for making this space for us to meet virtually and also to share and celebrate local chapters, community groups, and projects globally. So I am here to talk about HOT community. I'm not here to talk about HOT, the organization. So if you want to know the latest about HOT, visit the link for the updated and historical annual reports. So yeah, today I'm talking about the people and the community in HOT and humanitarian open mapping. So firstly, these are the three general ways that contributors and volunteers can get involved. We do have 6 working groups. And yeah, my bias or my favorite working group is, of course, community working group. This is one of the online mapping communities that made me feel welcomed and included. And yeah, I have flexed them in a lightning talk in 2021 in Mapping US. And since a lot of community members and leaders are here, I'd like to share and highlight how we foster a collaborative and exclusive space in HOT and channels in the community channels of HOT. So first and foremost, and most importantly, we strictly enforce the HOT code of conduct in our channels. We have moderators and complaint handling process in place. And yeah, this is really the recipe of HOT, why we have that very inclusive and environmental space. And also, this is also currently ongoing. We do recognize and appreciate our volunteers. So we amplify community voices. For example, this one, we're doing the Be Seen, Be Heard, adding International Women's Day 2024 event in the OSM Wiki, which is this or next week. And then we do recognize especially the women who are always on the background of background of every event, every mapping activity, and they need to be highlighted. So we did open the Open Mapping Women Awards 2024 nominations, and then we do also recognize our contributors through mentorship, capacity building, recognizing volunteer contributions, and also supporting their professional growth and development. So recently, we collaborated with Data Camp for free access to our very dedicated contributors. And also we have an ongoing mentorship program, Call for Mentors, happening very soon. This was piloted by community and is a community-led mentorship program starting in 2020. We also do recognize our, of course, leadership. So paving a way for community leaders to take the lead and also guide the HOT community. And most importantly, one of our main ingredients is building trust. Having, personal check-ins, meeting contributors for coffee chats, meeting community members for coffee chats, like even just giving away 30 minutes of your time, that really means a lot to them because, yeah, you're building rapport, you're building relationship, and you're building trust to them. And yeah, this one is Bafamode Hopeful from Nigeria. She was a mentor last year in the mentorship program, and she has now founded an initiative, Delighted Women Development Initiative, which is an umbrella of young girls and women that embrace positivity, empowers and educate and train young girls and women for development. So yeah, as a closing, yeah, like what Eugene has said, we recognize that while OSM is a global project with contributors from all around the world, OSM is also local. It's a network of small communities. And the way to achieve our goal, which is being OSM to be the best map of the world, is to work together within our small communities and foster collaboration with the OSM community groups. So with that, these are the ways to, ways to reach HOT. And thank you so much. Back to Anissa.
Our next presenter is going to be Alan from Uganda. Alan, let us know if you are ready, and I can pass the word to you so you can tell us what you have been doing with OpenStreetMap Uganda.
It's great. All right. So I'm going to share with us what has been happening with the OSM community of Uganda. And within Uganda, it's more of a small but growing community that takes pride into having different people around the country being able to contribute to the same cause. Now, our main focus majorly is to improve on the adoption and use of OpenStreetMap in most of the projects that are running around the country, let it be government, private sector, as well as from the academia side. Last year, strictly, we had a lot of support, and we also contributed to most of the work that was coming from HOT, that is under the ISA Hub. And from there, we were able to also get a micro grant where we were able to extend OpenStreetMap in schools. We've been able to get time to interact with the Ministry of Tourism and support them to promote the different tourism sites of the country using OSM. Currently, they are now using OSM on their website to be able to showcase the different tourism sites of Uganda and other amenities around it. Currently, we are also still working with Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, whereby they are working on a project to improve vegetable intake for communities that are low income. And from that, we are using different open source tools, and we also training them on how to use these tools on this program, but as well as encouraging them to use it for their future programs. We've also been able to work with the World Bank project that was on agriculture and electricity. And with that, still our major point was showing them how you can be able to use OpenStreetMap to be able to understand the need within the agriculture sector in terms of electricity and other sources of energy. The same under USAID program, we've been able to show them how to use OpenStreetMap to support communities and majorly cities into developing the domestic revenue, and as well as to be able to follow up using the OpenStreetMap. So the systems that we've designed for them and are using currently are backed by OpenStreetMap. And this helps us to be able to grow a wider community that helps us to increase on the contribution. Now, also through the Office of the Prime Minister, we are supporting them in terms of disaster response preparedness, whereby we contribute in terms of when a disaster happens, we provide the data before and after, as well as support on ground, so that they're able to make follow-ups during the time they are providing relief. Besides that, as a community, we are growing through the Youth Mappers chapters. From here, we are able to support different universities. Some upon request, some we plan and be able to visit them depending on the programs that we're having around the country. And from here, we are looking at also increasing the number of students that get to know about OpenStreetMap at a lower age. So this is through our initiative of OpenStreetMap in schools, where we are training OpenStreetMap at a lower level as Form 1. And then we get a couple of volunteers that come in here and there, depending on the activities that we normally have, because we do engage in activities around the country, like the social ones, and be able to share what OpenStreetMap can do. And then from that, we have been able to promote the use of drone technology, though it's a bit tight in terms of policy, but at least we're seeing a lot of adoption in terms of using drone technology to be able to manage assets. And also we are supporting different cities, because now we have quite a number of new cities in Uganda, to be able to create data and also to be able to utilize it with the backing of OpenStreetMap. Looking at how we are broken up and how we approach, we are broken, like it's a breakdown of a GIS training and products. So that is a team there, and then we have the field mapping team, we have innovation and research, and then we have the drone technology. So the teams have grown, full-time staff, we have over 15, 6 volunteers, and the community has now grown to over 6,000. And then over organizations now, they're private, that have grown from the community of OSM, and now they're providing services in GIS. So we are quite focused on these areas to be able to continue improving our impact, as well as to be able to achieve the objectives that we have set for ourselves. Thank you so much.